everybody. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. So, this is a Wednesday series that comes out every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And we go deep on divorce recovery, healing, and other related videos that will help you to reinvent your life after you have gone through, especially divorce and or job loss, those type of big midlife transition. If you're new here, you may ask me, how do I qualify to talk about those? Because I went through that journey myself about a year and a half ago. From there, I reinvented my life. And that's how I have been helping people in different ways and shapes and form. My YouTube channel has been there for a year. Every single day, I have those videos since last year, and also now it's just more in rhythm. Every day I share wisdom at 12 p.m. the shorts, and also there are other shorts here and there you'll see throughout the day. Apart from that, I also have 3 weekly series now: Mindful Monday and Wisdom Wednesday and Thankful Thursday. But without getting into further into all of those things, but let's start today's topic. Today's topic is about love language. So if you have not heard of love language before, I would highly encourage you to look up love language and Gary Chapman. He came up with that. There are 5 love languages we all have. I won't go too deep on the love languages itself. I'll give you a high-level overview. And also you should look up Gottman Institute's work that also they talk about the love languages. So there is so much good material out there. For me, I am researching this as part of a 10 to 12 episode series that I am planning to do before end of this year. So that series is going to be about how to save your marriage if divorce or separation is in your mind. This is a topic that a few of the folks privately shared with me. This is something that they would be interested to learn about. So what I did is I actually researched already a lot of material, and I will be researching more. And then as I navigate all the other things that's on my agenda, I want to do that. And the big reason to do that is also because, many people in marriages, there are three steps, I would say. Step 1, when you fall in love, you're in honeymoon phase, you get married, and that can last 6 months, that can last 6 years. But after that, most people live in that step 2. And what I encourage people is not to live in step 2. And the step 3 is like, marriage is over, divorce, and then you're in step 3. But there's a long period of time people live in step 2. So what happens is that in step 2, people are like, they are focusing on what is not working in the relationship. But there are so many good things that are there. People with the stress and everything going on in the world and at home, people forget to appreciate each other and connecting with the love language that work for each other. So from there, I'm gonna dive deep, because that's where initially when you guys met, if the love language are more or less, it's about the same. Because so now let me tell you, if you're new about the concept of love language, I wrote them down so that I remember, but I still figured I will write them down. This one is a ring at the back, got stuck on my Post-it. Anyway, words of affirmation. Number 1, words of affirmation. Like if you said to somebody did, your spouse or partner did laundry, you thank them. Also, if they did dishes, you thank them. That's example of words of affirmation. Even though it is as simple as that, just thanking them, it could make a big difference if words of affirmation is their love language. And a lot of time that is formed as you are growing up in childhood. Maybe you did not get enough praise, and the way our world and society is, because, and it goes from generation to generation, more than likely majority of the people, they grow up like that, right? There's a little bit of positive reinforcement, but a lot of time it happens with the negative reinforcement. Once you are aware, you can change it for your kids. And so one of the biggest reason I'm covering this topic, normally these are some things that people would talk only at therapist's office or in a closed door. But you need to bring this to light because these are also shaping our children, how they grow up, how they learn about love language. Because as a kid, if you were if you felt loved, for example, quality time, that's the second one. The quality time is if you had parents around you, but if you felt unseen because they were around but they were unavailable, inaccessible, right? I don't know, like watching TV on Facebook, and the kids are just there, they felt unseen. And that can also happen from workplaces and stuff like that. I go a little deep about that on my blog too, so feel free to read that if you like. Number 3 is physical touch. So physical touch, so the difference could be, so let's say your partner's love language is, there's something called acts of service. Acts of service is like when somebody done dishes, laundry, whatever. So that person, with that simple thing, if their love language is acts of service, they will feel loved with that. As weird as it may sound, but that's how they will feel loved, because they feel like, oh, you are helping them big time. It is just how the brain is wired. So so now let's say yours is physical touch. So now if you're out in public, I don't know, like you're walking in a park or something like that, and you wish to hold hand, but for your partner, it's not a big deal because that is not their love language. So what John Gottman says is, and that's where it gets very deep, and I need you guys to look it up if you're interested in this topic, is that what happens for the person A here and person B, the way it works, it's like an emotional bank account. So when this person have acts of service as their love language, when you are doing laundry, when you are doing dishes, when you're helping them in other ways, then you are doing emotional deposits of positive things. That's how they're feeling loved. So when you have a conflict, more of the emotional bank account you have, lesser conflict you'll have. Lesser conflict, this person will keep loving you, because love is an emotion, right? That emotion is dependent on how they feel loved. To you, it may not make sense. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do laundry, dishes, and because if that is not yours, you won't connect it. But for them, how they feel loved is different. So you may have to do that. Same thing for this person, if physical touch is a thing, and if for this person, person A, it doesn't matter. For person B, they have to make an attempt or to remember to do that, because otherwise this person is not going to feel loved. So there are, for Gary Chapman, if you look it up in Google or ChatGPT, it will take you to a link. You can do the test. It used to be free, but I think now it costs about $15 or something. I forgot how much. But it is so worth it, especially if you're in the beginning of a relationship. First thing, it's important to find out if both of your love language matches. And even if it doesn't match, it's not a red flag. It's talking about it with each other, right? It's about understanding where each other is coming from. That's when compassion builds, because compassion starts from where judgment ends, because our judgment is a feeling like, oh, why does this person have to feel like, oh, when I do the laundry, they will feel loved? But that's judgment. That's judgment, right? So to overcome that, you have to have that compassion. And two people will never be the same. So if you do the test that I was talking to you about, you'll find out that out of those 5 things, so okay, physical touch is number 3. Number 4 is receiving gift. Believe it or not, for some people, receiving gift could be a love language. And the number 5 is acts of service that I've been talking about. So I'll just repeat it again. I'm going to put them in the description section too. Words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, receiving gift, acts of service. But a lot of these are formed in childhood, based on what you have, what you received or not received, you were longing for, that type of thing. Also, sometimes physical touch could be, for somebody, it could be like feeling safe. So if you, for your kids, let's say if they're afraid of something, and if you give them a hug and they feel safe, that could form as a physical touch as their love language, right? So knowing that and being aware of that would create a big difference. And on this channel, as you guys know, I talk about divorce recovery, healing, and reinventing your life. Reinvention is possible only when you are able to let go of the past. Not only let go of the past, let go of the past with peace. And to do that, let go of the past with peace, you need to have that compassion for that person. You may feel like that, oh, in that relationship, I did not feel loved. I did all these things and this person was not nice or whatnot. But guess what? The other person may be feeling exactly the same, right? Somewhere there was a breakdown in the relationship, and what happens is when there's a breakdown, it keeps going big, and then at some point it can't come back together. The point is, I want to bring this conversation out to the light because so many people live in step 2. Like I was telling you, the research I'm doing. Step 1, honeymoon phase, could be 6 months or 6 years, doesn't matter. People are in a happy phase. This step 2 could be 40, 50 years until people stay married, die. Trust me. So many people, they're married but unhappy, and they think the grass is greener on the other side. Don't do that. From step 2, there is an easier path to get to step 1. And for many people, if you're aware, if you have the compassion, you communicate. Communication is number 1 from both sides, right? So communicate, you can easily get to step 1. But for some people, it could be that from step 2, the right solution is step 3, because they're so far ahead that the communication is just creating more challenges than resolving anything. So anyway, I just wanted to share this today with you guys as I'm doing the research, because I thought it was so interesting. If you know their work, Gottman Institute, Gary Chapman, look it up. And I am not affiliated with either of them. I just find this fascinating, and it helps me to help my clients to understand them better, to know them better, and things like that. Because the big thing when I talk about the reinvention, it comes from forgiveness and peace and accepting all that happened in the past. Because even if you hold a little bit of grudge for what happened and who did what to you in the past, not only your partner, even work and whatnot, guess what? You will not be in that fully reinvented, authentic life where you love the life you are living. And that's where I am now. And it is possible when we learn about the things, why people do certain things in certain way, or why they did it. They may not do it in the future. You never know. But it is all about learning about ourselves, right? Only then we will be able to reinvent ourselves. So again, these 5 love languages, I'm so excited that I'm able to share this with you guys. So share this with other people too, especially married people who might be in step 2. I did not learn about it until, I don't know, a few years ago. So this is something that can really save a lot of marriage. First thing is, it can save marriage, and second thing is, even if people are in a unhappy marriage but they're staying together, they can turn this into a happy marriage, right? And we all have limited time in this world, right? But how can we live that time with with joy, with happiness and all of that? And there's a difference between joy and happiness. Very quickly, joy is what is internal, happiness is external. And it's like when you buy a new car, new house, those are the happiness, but joy is like internal. That's what you feel. Okay, so with that, I'm going to finish this video. But again, the most important point to remember is that we are not born with our love languages. These 5 love languages, they actually, it is built over time, and most of it is from our childhood. Now, if you have had a long-term relationship, or if you have a long marriage and then you are coming out of it, remember that could impact your next relationship unless you let go of it with peace, because childhood shapes the love language, and also what you received or what you have missed in your first marriage or a long-term relationship, that can also impact your next relationship with your love language, because sometimes that changes too. Out of this 5, if you take the test online, you will see that they're like 100%, they total to 100%, but your top 2 is what your main love languages are. Usually you may have like 30% one, another, I don't know, like 50%. So the remaining 20% could be the last 3. So that's how you'll know. So it's an exciting thing. So try it out and see how it works for you. And just be compassionate towards the other person, that the way they feel loved, it is because how they grow up with, what they might be missing, how they may feel safe or loved, right? So talk to each other about that, and that I hope that really, really does help you guys. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, please write them down in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts. And after you do the test, if you know what your love language is, comment below. It'll be exciting to hear that turned out for you. And also, again, like I said, share it with other people, because these are the things that does not get it does not get talked about in like outside of closed doors or outside of therapist's office. And I'm not therapist, I'm a coach, a reinvention coach. So for me, the big thing is making your future better after your world fell apart. But in therapy and things like that, my own opinion is that you get the healing, they talk about how to come out of it, but it does not really help you to reinvent your life. It could be career reinvention, it could be, your partnership, whatnot. It's because when you get into a second relationship, you want to make sure that you are healed. You know what you want, what are your non-negotiables are, and all of this is possible when you learn more and more about yourself, right? So, okay, with that, I'm going to finish, and take care, friends. I'll talk to you later. Bye.